Hey, Pete and Alex, it's Kai from, I guess, Loving This Podcast. So happy that you're back to do Solo, a Star Wars story. My first memory of seeing it in the theater, I distinctly remember sitting there thinking, wow, this movie is so dark. Like, so dark I can't see what's going on. I can't wait for it to come out on digital and Blu-ray so I can turn the brightness on my TV all the way up. Love the show still, and keep up the great work. Star Wars Minute.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Crystal Beth from CrystalBeth.com. Or, well, TheCrystalBeth.com. Let's not forget that important word.
The Crystal
That means
D.
Pete has to buy CrystalBeth.com.
And somebody's got it, right?
Oh, do they?
I don't know. Well,
Someone does have it.
We're about to find out.
Yeah.
Right?
Gonna send some guys over there. Well, thank you for coming back and joining us again, Crystal.
Absolute gosh darn pleasure.
We are happy to have you back for Solo, a Star Wars party. It's we're minute 16 is what we're up to. We've only done what percentage of that?
16.
Sweet 16. Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
We are up to minute 16. It starts with some mysterious crew of folks cresting over the ridge. And it ends with Han Solo being told to shut up and do what his captain tells him.
Folks is what my brother, who is a school administrator, that is his all-purpose term for addressing a group of people. Because you can't say guys.
Folks.
You can't say guys anymore.
Right.
So, like, if you're trying to, like, hey, guys, can we move it out here? He says, hey, folks, let's move it out.
Yeah.
So it's a non...
And you can't say guys and dolls anymore. Hey, guys and dolls, can we move it out of here? And then they all start singing and throwing dice.
They all start dancing. And
Right? Oh my gosh, I just made a guys and dolls dice throwing joke today at work, actually. That's so funny because I haven't thought about that in forever. I just call people humans.
Oh, there you go.
When I'm at the host stand, I'm like, can you take these humans to their table, please?
And then every once in a while, somebody was just like, yes, I'm a human. I'm going to the table.
That would be
man?
That would be
They start
alarming.
walking the wrong way.
If I went to the doctor and the doctor was like, "Doctor, the human is ready to see you now," I would be that would unnerve me.
Well, the doctor is a little bit. That's more intimate. I mean, not to take anything away from your host station, but I feel like the doctor is a little more intimate.
I don't think there's any situation in which is not unnerving. A waiter, come this way, human, or like,
and they're like they take out their cookbook to serve humans.
Yeah,
to serve man rather.
Yeah, just for folks.
Just
That's
for
what I have to
folks.
change it to now.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, 16.
Speaking of humans, there's one that we don't really see here.
Harrison Ford?
Well, that too, but we don't really see him. But if you squint, you can kind of see him. Now, there was a fourth member of Beckett's crew. Now, this is the mysterious folks coming over the ridge. And as we will soon learn, it's Beckett and Rio and why can I never remember the character name?
Val?
Rio?
No, Rio. Yeah, Val.
Val.
Thandie Newton's character name I can never remember, and I don't want to. But so there's those three, and then there was a guy named Corso who hung out with them. Corso was the fourth member of this squad. If you look, you still see him, but there's a lot of like it's like a post-breakup sequence, this next couple of shots here, because you'll see them, everybody comes over, and then the camera kind of zooms in a little bit to cut out the guy who's all the way on the left. And they're really trying hard not to show you Corso, but he pops up a little bit from time to time. It made me think of there's a name, I think I've brought this up on the show before, but I think is it Screwy or something is the fourth duck, the Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and then there's like they They came up with a name for when they accidentally, due to an art mistake, there would be 4 ducks. And so you can track the appearances of this mysterious 4th duck. Corso is kind of the screwy of, it's not screwy, duck. It's got to be something else, right? Yeah, he's the 4th duck.
Wait, did the actor, like, make someone mad or something?
No, they just cut out that subplot of, not a subplot, but like there's a detail that they had to this guy who was in their crew. And if you look, he's in the Alex, you have the official guide to this movie. I believe he's in there. If you look up Corso, he looks cool. He's wearing like a DJ Death Squad commander helmet, and he's holding like a G.I. Joe roadblock style machine gun, or a Baze Malbus style machine gun. But he was part of the crew, and then he gets killed at some point between when we first meet them now and when Han and Chewie are ready to get on the ship with them. Because then the idea is that's why they take on Chewie, because they could use muscle, because he was their muscle, and they lost him. He's not part of the crew anymore, so then they're like, well, we could use the Wookiee. So there's this guy who's just not there, but he is. Maybe is he not in the book? Did he get taken out? How do you spell it? Korso.
Korso.
I am trying to Google as best I can, but I have such a loud tactile keyboard that I'm just trying to do like one letter at a time. New Zealand actor.
Is it? Oh, I know.
Well, he looks badass.
Yeah.
The criminal who provided muscle for Tobias Beckett's gang.
He's not in the. He's not himself in the official guide.
Really?
Go ahead,
this is
Crystal.
on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He disguised himself in stolen Imperial Swamp Trooper armor, an Imperial Fleet Trooper helmet, and an Imperial officer greatcoat. He helped Beckett to infiltrate the Imperial Army in exchange for safe passage. He was killed.
Wow. Yeah.
I think they just kind of combined him and Rio into one character, sort of.
I've just been handed an update that Corso was, he was in the crew. He died in battle shortly after they crash landed on Mimbeb. So when we first see them, he's in it. The picture that I thought was from your guidebook is from a sticker book that came out in the UK.
Oh.
That's what the picture is from.
That's infuriating that there's information in a sticker book from the UK that doesn't make it into the official guide.
Well, but Corso's no longer official. That's why it's not in there. If he was in the movie, maybe.
Yeah.
So it says on Wikipedia, according to screenwriter John Kasdan, Tui's performance was great, but given the hectic environment, it became confusing to introduce him as he was immediately going to get killed off.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And he also says that Corso was in every draft of the script, including an early version where he was Lando's big brother.
What?
Corso Calrissian, maybe. And every cut of the movie till just before Locke when he was removed to simplify. So this guy, through no fault of his own, he got a part in Star Wars, went out there, did his best. Everybody said he was great. And then multiple rounds of editing. And then they're just like, you know what? Right before we finish the movie, we decided that we don't need you.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
Well, he's on Star Wars fandom.com, which I am not, so he's doing better than I am. Well done, sir.
I was in the recent Peacemaker finale. After the episode aired, an actor posted a picture of himself in a costume and said that a scene with him in this costume had been filmed. He was supposed to play an iconic character. I don't want to spoil it for any Peacemaker fans who haven't watched it yet. And he said, but I was cut out of the finale.
Huh.
And so some people were saying that was a crybaby move on the part of the actor.
Yeah, sure.
Like that he should have just so what do you guys think? If
Yeah, you don't do, that's the story, you tell that over drinks to your friends, but you don't go posting it on social media.
Right. I mean, if you are going to post about it, because if I was in this situation and I was in a Star Wars and they cut me out, I'd be like, I get it. I went to school for film. Sometimes things get cut out.
Right.
It wouldn't destroy my life, but I would probably post and be like, I got to do this amazing thing. You can't see me, but I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd be happy to have experienced it and been a part of it.
I don't think he was doing it from a place of anger. I think he was just like, it's me in this cool costume, which I'm probably never going to get to wear again for the rest of my life. And so they just wanted to,
I don't think that's a crybaby.
No, but in public, it is, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not like a public, I'm not a person that the public knows. So I guess I'm not, it would just be my friends, and my friends would all be like, yeah, that's wicked cool.
No, but because it's the internet, people would attack you, even if no matter what happens. So,
well, good news that John Toohey is the guy who played Corso.
Torso.
John Toohey played
Mad
Corso.
Magazine. He was in the Mad Magazine adaptation.
That's what they were worried about it. They were like, "Oh, Mad's gonna rip us a new one on this one. Let's cut the guy out." He was also he was in one of the Hobbit movies. He was in Hobbs and Shaw, and he's got a recurring role as Afa Anoye, Afa, one of the Samoans on Young Rock. So he's doing okay. He's in some stuff.
Power Rangers too.
Yeah, most people know him as a Power Ranger. It looks like he's best known as Anubis Doggy Kruger, the SPD Shadow Ranger in Power Rangers SPD. So,
So I do like the fact. So, are there any photos of him as the character?
Yeah,
yes.
Totally. That's the sticker, and there's other ones.
That's right. Yeah,
and in the Wikipedia.
So I like that there's this growing pool of future people who were like Constable Zuvio and all these characters who were so close to being, they were the Bigs, although Bigs at least got a little bit in there, but
they were the Cammy and Fixer of their day.
Cammy and Fixer of,
or the Jenny.
So
wow.
Well, we wish him a lot of luck.
Yeah. R.I.P. Corso. We hardly knew ye.
You know who else we hardly get to know is this army this war that's taking place is on the planet Mimban, as we addressed last week. But we don't really get to see any good, clear shots of the Mimbanese, which is a shame because they look super cool when you see the picture of them. Somebody put a lot of work into these alien costumes.
Yeah.
And they're never, not even they're all just silhouettes. It's heartbreaking in a way.
I was startled by that. Once I looked it up, I was like, whoa, they look so cool. Like, how are we? They look kind of like red Lectroids from the Planet 10.
Oh, wow. I've never looked them up. They look cool as hell.
Yeah.
And they have a Lego.
Probably in that sticker book, I'm sure.
But because they came back, they used them in Mandalorian.
Oh, did they show the Mimbanese in the Mandalorian?
There's some Mimbanese, I think, in Mandalorian, and I think in one other thing.
Oh.
So they were like, well, that's too cool not to use. We better put it into something. But yeah, you barely see. They're just like everything else. It's too dark. You just see them in shadow, like a blurry shadow in this movie.
Yeah,
but
they're wearing it. I almost thought they looked like Wookiees because they had fur, but it's actually
a ghillie suit,
branches.
Yeah.
And stuff. Was that what that thing's called? What is that called? A ghillie suit?
A ghillie suit.
Wow, I never heard that term before.
In PUBG, they have all ghillie suits, and then you can hide from everyone and snipe them with ease.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to get probably inappropriate for me to get them, but there were those, there was the Soldier of Fortune kind of supply catalogs, you know what I mean, and because I was really into G.I. Joe, and so it was funny to see all the stuff that was like, oh look, you can order, you couldn't order guns, but you can order just about anything else that G.I. Joe would use, and that was always one of the things. It was like a ghillie suit, that would be cool. But yeah, I think we need more
ghillie suits.
More ghillie suits, more Mimbanese. Another. Let me throw out another RIP to Clark Gillies, the New York Islanders legend who recently passed away.
Goodbye, funny man. Well, this minute also introduces a big character in this movie. I'm of course talking about Space Woody Harrelson. As Tobias Beckett.
Yeah. And I gotta say, it's a cool. It's got a cool intro. And then instantly he's got attitude. He's like the Han Solo of the Han Solo movie.
Right? That's where Han Solo's getting his learn on.
I guess so.
I wish you'd said that. He's like, you know what? You're going to be a good role model for me. He's like, stick with me, kid.
Right.
You know.
Maybe next time, or whatever the I keep forgetting what the exact line is from that Crystal Skull, not Crystal Skull, Last Crusade.
So I looked up Woody Harrelson on the IMDb, and what do you think they list as his 4 known for projects?
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games is not correct.
Oh,
he's been in a lot of movies, so it's.
Is it just movies, or is Cheers on there?
Cheers is not on there. There is one television set.
Is he on Being John Malkovich? Was he in that, or I always confuse that, or I used to confuse them when I was younger.
I think you're thinking of Catherine Keener.
Oh, yep, that's exactly it.
To get them confused.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us.
He's got a cameo in Austin Powers. Is that it? Is he best known for Austin Powers?
That's right. That was Austin Powers cameo. It's the first. True Detective, the TV series.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait, what about the Natural Born Killers?
Natural Born Killers.
There we go.
Is one of them. People versus Larry Flint.
Oh
wow.
And Zombieland.
Oh,
I should have guessed that one.
I would have thought that maybe just because I'm old, but I guess I would have thought Cheers would be more than Zombieland.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I don't know.
You know,
I still somewhere I think have my ticket stub from seeing The People versus Larry Flint because the theater, they ran out of characters. I guess so it says The People versus Larry Fly, and I always thought that was a great thing. Either it's like a more of like a blaxploitation thing where he's like super cool, or it's like a sci-fi horror thing where he's
I was going Jeff Goldblum.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Either way, it's a cool movie, probably better than the one that wasn't a bad movie, but
combine them.
There you go.
Blaxploitation science fiction.
Oh. Well, yeah. Why hasn't anybody ever made Superfly into an actual Superfly?
Woody Harrelson did 6 movies in 2017 and 2 movies in 2018. The second one in 2018, in addition to Solo, was Venom, the Spider-Man project. I had no idea he was in those. So
he's a Cletus Cassidy there, right?
Yeah. I don't know who that character is, but
no, I never saw it.
So I guess he's technically
Cletus Cassidy is the guy who eventually becomes Carnage.
Oh.
So that's I think he's probably also in Venom. Also, Let There Be Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some carnage.
But yes, continues to be a very
sweet Karn.
Very popular actor, showing up in a lot of stuff.
And I don't know. Am I in the minority? I feel like there's no real. Nobody has any problems with him. I like him in things usually.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't overstay his welcome. He kind of does. Interesting movies for the most part. He's not, I don't know. I feel like he knows his craft and his limitations and just does things that he thinks are good. And I don't know.
He's good at playing the fun alcoholic.
Right. There you go.
You always need one of those in your life. So Woody Harrelson's it for us.
That being said, I do like Woody Harrelson, but he does seem like Space Woody Harrelson to me. I mean, although I guess he's just playing a kind of Woody Harrelson-y kind of character, so maybe that's what it is. So,
right.
But yeah, I generally don't. I think he's fine in this movie.
Now, imagine going back to time travel back to season 3 of Cheers, or when did Coach die?
Mm-hmm.
And then being like, see that dumb guy that took over behind the bar there? He's going to be in Star Wars one day.
Oh my gosh.
If you had asked people out of all these characters, who do you think would be in a Star Wars?
Yeah.
At one point, out of all these actors, people would be like, well, obviously it's Norm. I mean, who else would it?
They'd be like, wait a minute, I just saw Cliff in a Star Wars yesterday. No. Well, it's different. What about Rebecca? No, she was in a Star Trek. Well, what about Frasier? He's in a Star Trek also.
And he was in Frasier was also a Beast in an X-Men movie.
He's gonna be an X-Men in Star Trek. And little 12-year-old me or whatever is just like, what? Who else? Pick them all. That's going through all these people.
Yeah, a lot of shocks in store for those people when they get older.
Yeah, it's a very chaotic first minute, I must say. Yeah. But I'm here for it.
One thing we do see, we saw it a little earlier, but we didn't get a chance to mention it last week. The AT, no, this is the first time we see it. I think when the AT hauler goes overhead.
We did see it last week, and I was upset that I was like, oh, I wanted to mention that cool thing because we see it actually drop off a walker last week, and I was like, oh, we forgot to talk about that, but I forgot that it's they name it, they point and name, they point at it and call it names here.
It's a big plot.
You ship. Being so shippy.
The AT hauler goes along at a paltry 78 miles per hour. That's the fastest it can go. That's 125 kph, Pete.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So I'm surprised. I mean, that means both the speeders we saw could outrun this ship, which seems bonkers to me.
Hey, she's got it where it counts.
Yeah, it's not built for speed. It's there just to do it. It's just, hey, I'm going to drop this off where you need it.
Built for comfort, not for speed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm sure it's luxurious inside.
That's what I feel like about my body. My whole body is built for comfort, not for speed.
What? Neither comfort nor speed. What are we?
Built for I don't know, ballast. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
I do like it a lot because it's not that we were all sitting around asking like, how did the AT-AT get there, that kind of a thing, but neat to see that kind of dropping a walker into the midst of battle.
I
guess that's one thing that's nice about every new Star Wars is how they just make the world so much bigger with how things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whether it's like lightsaber battles and how when Phantom Menace came out, how insane that was. You were like, there's two sides! And you're like, oh yeah, how would a walker just get dropped in? And then that's how it happens. And I don't know, that's always my favorite part is how they can, things that I don't even think about. Like I wouldn't, I'm not like, oh, how would that get there? But
that's the trick. It's great when it's something that you hadn't really thought about, but then something that we've all thought about when they do it, it's like nobody's going to be happy. So if they're going to fill in some gaps, they should totally fill in the ones that we're not thinking about.
Right. Like how did the AT-ATs get onto Hoth? Were they dropped off by a ship, or did they climb out of a bigger ship?
What do you mean? Isn't that the same thing?
How did they get to the surface? Did they?
Well, I can picture them dangling off of a ship onto the ground. The other one, I picture that mouth of a ship opening up.
Oh, I see.
After it lands.
Got it.
Right.
Huh. I'm going to guess the first one, but really could go either way. I thought you could just like drop them in from like, they're like cats. They
actually assemble them.
They always land on their feet.
They're like cats. That's funny.
I like it.
Yeah, or maybe it's like.
Do you think they drop them with everybody inside, or they drop them and then the people take a separate ship down and then they get in?
They drop the people.
I'm picturing the like cat twist in the air too as it lands.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good visual.
They drop the people separately, and they all desperately have to get into the cat before it lands. So otherwise, that's the first training exercise. Or maybe it could be like a puppy, where there's a giant AT-AT that picks up the small ones in its mouth and then brings them over.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that's it. That's what it is.
Some other animal like way of transportation.
That's the Star Wars way. We're just going to keep building bigger ones of these.
There should be a planet where some AT-ATs escaped and they became feral, and so there's like herds of wild AT-ATs roaming around that used to be tamed,
right,
like horses.
And they mingle with the native fauna.
So in this scene, Tobias Beckett starts giving orders, and he says, "You go do that. You go do this over there," and he refers to Han Solo as a mouthy Scooch. What does he refer? He throws in a lot of
Scoot.
A Scoot?
I don't know.
A mouthy Scoot? He uses a bunch of Star Warsy insults in this thing that I couldn't figure out what exactly he was saying.
Why do I remember something different? Hang on, I have to listen to it. Remember it one more time.
He also does say, "You want to live, Sparky?" which is one of my favorite things.
Uh-huh.
A mouthy Scooch. Yeah, that's
Scooch.
A Scooch. It's what it sounds like.
A Scooch, or what are we talking about here?
Well, I think I kind of think that Scooch is a great insult because when you want someone to move over a little bit, it's a scooch, which is like barely even a thing. So if someone's a scooch, they're like barely even a thing.
I don't know, because when I first heard it, I immediately thought of it that it was a dirty word. Scooch. Like, get this scooch out of here.
I'm looking.
I don't know
it.
if Pete, you need to bleep it now.
It depends on what we'll bleep it. Based on IP address. If you live somewhere where Scooch is,
or it's like certain words, like you're allowed to say ass when you're talking about a donkey. So it's like you can say Scooch, and then you have to, when I say Scooch, you have to bleep the second one.
Right.
Make it more work.
Or like the B word when you're talking about a female dog. I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
Even though
it does. Yeah, and
word.
It looks like Scooch, definitely. So
I feel like the B word is a word now that is generally much more widespread, acceptable use. Like, don't they say it on like the news now and stuff?
What, Boshek?
No, I meant Scooch.
Oh, Scooch.
Yeah, Scooch.
Scooch. Mouthy Scooch. But are you looking at like the script or does it have any other?
There is no real official script. I was looking at somebody took, I guess I don't know if it's the subtitle track or the transcript.
Right.
The
So what's his little burst of things there? He's like, take these mud ruckers over to. He doesn't use a bunch of different.
He's like, take these 4 to Fuddruckers, get them whatever they want. It's on me. See if anybody wants root beers. I don't want one, thanks.
Maybe just a Scooch.
Yeah. I just closed the page where the thing was, but I can.
Viewers at home can
Apple F Scooch.
Well, with what we're talking about with at this point, right before he calls him a Scooch, when Han comes running up and he's like, the guy said we're supposed to go that way. And he's like, you'll die if you go that way. And he's like, that's exactly what happened to the captain.
Right.
I watched this movie 2 times before I realized that was Han, because it was so silly. And it was like a very like child thing, because he comes running up all earnest and he's like, that's exactly what happened to him. He died. He was like, what? This is crazy. As opposed to someone who was, born running the streets for a scary alien worm.
Yeah.
Who, like, that's like Butters. I can't think of another example but another character who's like more, like you said, kind of more naive than Radar from MASH. I can't think of any common example, like very old or, well, I don't know.
Right,
anyway.
Exactly. It was
We're a little bit old.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it wasn't until I was like looking into the minutes hard where I was like, also it's very chaotic right now. I was like, oh my gosh, it is Han.
It's dark and chaotic.
Well, you probably didn't recognize it because he's played by a different actor than you're used to. So that's another reason why. How do you feel about Alden Ehrenreich, Crystal?
So, the first 2 times I saw it, I was just mad. I did not want them to make this movie because Harrison Ford is still alive. And
technically,
yeah. I don't want to talk about that. He did one plane crash away from.
We're not going to bring this up. So don't even put this out in the universe.
By the time this airs.
Yeah, no, he's going to live forever.
So
just like my dog.
You didn't like the fact that it was not going to be. It wasn't Harrison Ford. It was a different Han Solo.
Even when they were going through like who was going to get it, who was going to get the part, I was like, no one should get the part of Han that's auditioning for it. They need to find someone that wants nothing to do with it. Oh. He's the one that needs to play Han because
it's the Ford paradox.
Yes, I remember just reading about it, and they were like, they called in all these acting coaches and trying to get him to be more like Harrison Ford. And I watched it. I actually watched it with George Hendricks. It was one of the first movies I saw once I moved to Denver, and it was. I left and I was like, I always love a Star Wars. I will never, ever be like trash talk like how some people will about them because they always give me something that I didn't know. Like, how do you drop a walker into a battle with a ship? That's how it happens. But I rewatched it again for this. And I was was like, he's did a good job. There was one part, it was one specific part that I was like, oh my God. And it was when he and Kira were driving like away from their like prison, like orphanage area. And the way he licked his lips.
Orphanage area.
Yeah, prison orphanage. The way he licked his lips, I was like, dude, that is how Harrison Ford licks his lips. And because I watch his mouth all of the time.
Sure.
But it was so, and he does it 2 or 3 more times in the movie after that. And it made me start watching more of the nuances of him, because I don't think he looks like him at all. And then
no, I don't think that's really
I mean, like brown hair and he has a nose and a mouth. But
he's no Mimbinese.
Right. Those little ghillie suit wearing cutie pies. But watching his little moves a little more closely this time around, I was actually talking to my friend I was watching it with. I was like, I don't remember why I thought that he did such a bad job, when while I'm watching it now, I'm seeing those subtleties. And I don't know if it's because I like got out of my brain from reading all the reviews or the articles about how he needed to go through so much acting coaching, and they're not sure if it was a good idea to cast him, and they're switching all this around and they're switching this around. And, but yeah, I mean, rewatching it, it's not my favorite, but I wouldn't say it's a flop.
One thing I think is kind of sad is that coming out when it did, kind of it like right after The Last Jedi, and it was, I don't feel like there's going to be any nostalgic renaissance for Solo. Like, no one is seeing Solo as a kid who 15 years from now is going to be like, you guys, wasn't Solo really good? Like, it was just like kind of like, it's going to be like lost in the there's good stuff in it that, it's not like it's a terrible movie that deserves to be forgotten. And like you said, I think his performance, I do think he does a really good job given the like hurdle he has to do of filling such giant shoes.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So hopefully one day, maybe like, will he get a Hayden Christensen style renaissance where people are like, oh man, I can't wait to see him play Han Solo again,
I don't think so. Only because Hayden Christensen's Anakin. Like,
right.
that's...
Well, and that's also because it was a 9-year period, or the movie, or 6 years, I guess. Like, it was a bigger event, and
right.
Anakin, and like you said, so.
I don't know. Well, I think he won't have the same rebound because it wasn't as maligned as like, Hayden Christensen as Anakin got a lot of just, like Ahmed Best also got a lot of like focused, feelings that adults didn't know how to deal with. That then got like laser focused onto Ahmed Best for a movie, and then onto Hayden Christensen basically for the next 2. And it's like, no, you are the one who's making me feel old, and like that my childhood meant nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not their doing, but then I feel like that there wasn't that towards this. There was more kind of apathy, which then won't have a strong emotional rebound probably.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. It was rewatchable. I mean, I know we were just talking about what's his face with the long name. What is his
Woody
name?
Harrelson.
Chewbacca.
Yeah. Alden
Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for minute 16.
Yeah, pretty much. You want to live, Sparky. I just want to go back to that. Speaking of the New York Islanders. So, Crystal, can you come back tomorrow? We're going to do another one of these. We're going to talk about minute 17, which comes after this.
Oh wait, we're doing 17 tomorrow?
I think so. That was my plan. I don't know. I meant to send it to you in the Slack, but figured after 16
you guys could not
17.
like talk inside baseball in front of your guests. That would be
sorry.
awesome.
Yeah, we should have had all this under control beforehand. But
inside what now?
We, if you can, we would love to have you back tomorrow. Listeners, viewers, perhaps, if you're listening and not viewing, why not go to StarWarsMinute.com/YouTube, where you can see everything we've got going on here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, this is a podcast for like 8 years now. 9?
That's crazy.
Something like that. 8 years.
This is
9 years.
I've known you for so long.
Yeah.
Long
Return of the Jedi, but
still.
That was still
that's most of it.
Long.
We were doing multiple seasons a year back then. Yeah, it's a podcast. So if you want to listen to it on the go, you want to listen while you're running around doing other things, you don't have to look at us the whole time. Why not? Just go to StarWarsMinute.com and you'll see the podcast setup, subscribe, all this other stuff.
Check it out.
And then maybe we'll get you back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.